Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening to Indie Soul Saturday.
Nation, we are now at the top of our second hour, and we have another amazing guest here in the studio here with us today. I want to welcome in Kim Tibbs. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? And how are all of you listeners out there?
I'm doing very, very good. I'm very glad to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
Oh, that's very, very, very humbling, and I'm very honored to be one of your guests today.
Now you sound like you have a lot of energy, and that's surprising to me because you have so many things going on.
You know what? I do have a lot of energy. It's funny today alone. I'm laughing because it's funny because I've been up since early this morning. Most people, get a chance to sleep in on Saturdays, but I'm literally in the midst of a break during a recording session. I've had 2 live interviews today. And you all are my radio interview today, so I've been busy, around the clock busy already today. But it's good. I'm working on new music, so that's always important.
Oh, yeah, I think that's amazing. You sound like me because I usually start about 4 o'clock every day. So I go to the gym at 4 in the morning, so I've been up since 4 too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the earlier the better because, it's
right.
great to see your progress.
Right.
That too, yes. Nobody's there, so there's no one to stop you from being able to get your workout on.
Exactly. Well, I think it's really, really good to have you here with us today. It's very exciting. I know a lot of people were definitely looking forward to this. So, again, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, I would love for you to talk because I know that even with how widely acclaimed you are and all of the many things that you have been doing. I know there's still some people who are out there listening who don't really know kind of the background. So I would love for you to kind of give a little background just in terms of how you really got started. And I know you have 30 years in this and you following behind the footsteps of your father and that there's so much that has gone on throughout your career.
Right. Growing up as a kid, my father is a pastor. My mother is a minister as well. But my musical roots obviously started in the church. My dad, the late Pastor Robert L. Tibbs, was an organist and a songwriter himself. And so I think I'm like my dad's little protege. Everything Daddy did, I did it too. And so my earlier years, it's always been gospel music, gospel. And I can remember, 5, 6 years old, I was pianist over the choir. And I can remember going into churches and people would be like, who's this little child? What's she doing going to the piano? And then after I finished with the piano, humbly, people would have their mouths open like, did you just see what this child did? And so that's my first roots of music. But all my life, even in middle school, high school is where I started dibbling with songwriting in particular. And there was one period, math, that I was always writing with one of my friends. His name was Andre Wainwright at the time. And so we would be in math class with Coach Hyder at the time. But we would be writing music in between learning algebra too. And so just that aspect alone kind of gave me a little bit of I wish I could do music, or I wonder if I could do music. And so my father was always, Kim, you need to get an education. Music is not really going to give you the best financial gain. And so in my years as a musician and, earlier in my songwriting career, I still went to school. So I'm working currently on my doctorate right now in business administration and leadership. However, I have 2 associate's degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, 2 master's degrees because I wanted to make sure if music didn't work out, I've got something to fall back on to kind of help cushion that dream to turn into a reality for me. And to get me to where I am professionally, it was 2 people that were instrumental. One was the late, great Alfred Chalmers, which we all called Spanky. Spanky was a guitarist. He played for everybody, from the Mighty Clouds of Joy to D'Angelo to whatever. Spanky, when I met him, he gave me my earlier roots as far as R&B, learning, songs and being able to really putting a show and a stage show together. And so I learned the earlier parts of my R&B and soul from him, because growing up, we didn't really get an opportunity to listen to a lot of hardcore rap or the hip-hops and things like that. But my dad would allow us to listen to the likes of jazz music, gospel music for sure, some R&B stuff, but mostly soul records. So if you get an idea of an Al Green lift, then my music comes from the fact that I grew up listening to the Al Greens, the Clark sisters, but then to turn around and go back to the Roberta Flacks, the Sade. Daddy loved Sade. And so we were able to listen to the real music is what I call it. And but the second instrumental person, right, the second instrumental person that really did really great wonders, I guess, professionally for me was my late, not late, he's retired now, Mr. Jimmy Cantrell. He was over our music industry communications department at my local community college, Calhoun Community College. So at the time, I came in as a student, didn't really let anybody know that I knew music or played or anything, but he discovered I could play and sing. And so one day they had it would be considered almost like a Founder's Day almost, where people that were old alumni would come back and tell about themselves. And this particular day, he had a few guys from Nashville that came down. One guy was Philip White, another was Paul Compton and Bart Bush. These guys were, some of Nashville's top publisher, top sound engineer, top songwriter. And Jimmy told me afterward, he says, Kim, I want you to go to the piano, I want you to play and sing a song. And I was like, why? He said, just go do it. At the time, I didn't know it was really an open audition. And so when I did, I remember it was Philip White that literally took off running, full speed, CD, and asked me, how fast can you be in Nashville? And the CD he gave me was Amber Lee at the time. And literally the next day, I was in Nashville. Had my professional gig right there. I did country music, and that's why, again, you hear country, you hear the organ, you hear horns and stuff. And so working with Philip for several years, I was able to learn firsthand how to be a hit songwriter. He would sit me down, and we went over patterns. We went over, rhyming, song structure, melodies. And he would say I'm not the greatest singer or greatest musician, but then he would bring in the top session players who've played for everybody, anybody and everybody. And that's how I learned how to firsthand, play songs as far as musical direction and stuff. And so between Philip White and Mr. Cantrell and Spanky, those are my first real instrumental moments of grasping, industry of today. And so looking back, I'm thankful because of, people opening their doors to me that they didn't have to do so. And that's where we are now. So to fast forward now, 2018, after all of this, I'm working on my second album, my first album, my debut album that I consider my best work yet. It was released August 25th last year under Expansion Records, UK. And I was proud of it. It was, and before that year, even in 2016, I started releasing singles that all traveled to number one on the official UK soul charts. And so I'm humbled. I had a number one album, first go around, 4 weeks on the charts, 7 number ones, 8 songs total that charted in the top 5. It's a blessing to be able to know that there are people that appreciate people who do music in the more traditional old school way, like I do.
It's so amazing, and I love the fact that this album did so well for you. And it's like every single that you released charted and did extremely well. And I think it just goes to show that people really do want good music. They really do want it. And they've been craving it for so long, and there's so few people like you that are out here. And it's an amazing thing. I just love the success. Like, I'm so happy for the success that you've had.
Thank you. Again, it goes back to something my dad said to me when I was younger. He said, always obviously have a background in education, so that way if you have to fall back on it, you can. but whatever you do it well so that it represents you and
right.
really is what you want to represent you, and for others to look back on as something that's good. And so I'm proud of it. And, you know, there were some things that, you know, were done in error, but you learn your first go around, you learn what to do, what not to do. And so, you know, as you move on, you learn, okay, well, maybe you should do this the next time. That didn't work. And so that's kind of where I am. I'm taking more chances, so to speak, because what a lot of people don't know this, but I also am on the board of advisors for Calhoun Community College now. So I work closely with kids all the time. I'm always listening to students and their production and different things. And so with the album Kim, I wanted to take half of the album and do it with some of the biggest known musicians, studio, everything in the world. I did a lot of it at Fame recording studios in Muscle Shoals. And sadly, you know, the owner and founder of Fame Recordings just passed earlier this year, Rick Hall,
Right.
Who was just funeralized a couple of weeks back, and I was able to, you know, make it to his funeral, and I did a to him on BBC Radio also. But I did half of the album there. The other half of the album, I wanted to showcase that you don't have to have the biggest names in music to have good music. So the other half I did
Most definitely.
my college kids. In the studio, in the college studio at Calhoun Community College's Creative Arts Department, and I kid you not, it's those songs that people are talking about still. It's those particular ones that people said you could feel the soul. And so with what I've decided to do, I wanted to give back. I love children. I love kids. I love being able to be a teacher underneath, you know, being a songwriter. So I'm actually utilizing high school kids with this now next album that we're working on. And it's some of the best music I've ever written. It's probably some of the best sounding soul music that will ever be recorded, next to the older greats like the Aretha Franklins and the Wilson Pickett's and the Candy Statons, and before she was gospel. And so I'm excited about that.
But it's also amazing because it gives those high school kids a taste of the industry and what it's going to be about and the type of work that you have to put in, and it gives them an idea of what they can look forward to if this is something that they really want to do.
Right. It does just that, and then it also gives them motivation. It gives them a boost. There's not many high schools that have creative art departments that actually have full state-of-the-art studios. And so where I'm from, Huntsville, Alabama, just up the road about an hour from me is a town called Florence, Alabama. And so I've been working on this next album. Next album is going to be called Collection, just simple Collection.
Okay.
Because I want it to be a collective, you know, album of soul, all types of soul, contemporary, traditional, vintage. And so some of these kids didn't know who Ron Isley was. And I was like, you don't know who Ron Isley is? And I had to school them. I said, listen, you guys have YouTube. You've got Instagram. You've got Facebook Live. You've got all of these different platforms and tools in the Internet that I didn't have growing up. There's no excuse in not knowing. And so it's like an opportunity.
Because it's like they either don't know who he is altogether, or they only know the stuff that he did, like in, you know, with R. Kelly, and they don't know any of the Isley Brothers stuff or the stuff that, you know, that's happened like for years.
Right. See, and that's the thing. As a musician, you get to teach people from a musical standpoint. I said, did you guys know that Jimi Hendrix, before he was Jimi Hendrix, did you know he was one of the Axl players for the Isley Brothers? No way. Yeah, you know. Iconic music of today, a lot of iconic musicians that made that music from yesterday are still alive. And that's partly why I'm humbled, because I've gotten a chance to sit down and play with the likes of the High Rhythm Section Memphis. You know, this is Al Green sound. You know, the Muscle Shoals Swampers. That's Wilson Pickett. That's the Rolling Stones even. I mean, that's all kinds of stuff when you think about all of the old school musicians that are still alive. And it's a dying world right now as far as the music, in my opinion. There's people who appreciate things that you can't even understand. I was just having this conversation the other day. I don't know a lot of the rap hip hop scene anymore. I grew up on like the Eric B and the Kim and the
I did too. I'm 41 this year, and I don't know a lot of the stuff that comes out today either, and a lot of it I just can't get in. I can't get into it. So I mean, if you look at my iPhone on any given day, everything there is from the 80s and the 90s, and I just can't really get with anything after that.
Right. So there, you know where I'm going. I go and Google what Bad and Bougie was. I didn't know that was Migos. I know
you know what?
B's song.
Well, I'm finding out right now that that's Migos, because it's funny. I saw somebody in the gym today with a shirt on that said Bad and Bougie, and I had no clue what it was until you just said it. So that's so
right.
See how you're teaching a lot of people. You just taught me that.
And see, and I'm like, there's some things I don't understand how you can say it's R&B. I'm not taking away from any artist, any craft, but music has just gotten so drastic that the new age millennial stuff has just kind of taken over. Like, I have to physically go and Google things and go and listen to what is top 40 charts like. And when I had to look, and I was like, well, who is Khalid and who is the internet, the different artists, I had to really go and Google them. Some of the music that I've Googled and found out of what is playing and what is being chartable as far as the more pop-related charts, I like it. However, I don't connect with it. I don't understand the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, what are those words? What is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? I mean, what is that? What pattern is that? So
I'm with you.
It's teaching me.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. But what I do want to do is, and I promise, just your personality, we can chat all day long, but I want to make sure that we play your music.
Oh, thank you.
So I know we have 3 songs here, and what I'm going to have you do is kind of talk about each one, and then as you talk about the song, then we'll go ahead and play it. So we're going to start with Come On. We're going to start with Come On By, which I got to tell you, it's been extremely popular here, at Source Radio. So I think that's an amazing thing. But I want you to go ahead and talk about that song, and then we'll go ahead and play it.
Okay, so anybody that knows me knows, part of me, I love blues music. I had to slip and hide and play it. I'll tell you a quick story. I was on the piano when I was a kid playing Cheaper to Keeper and didn't even know it. Until my dad was like, what in the world? But Come On By is a story about a person that's basically, singing to somebody about how they feel, what they feel, and giving them a little bit of gospel soul, I'll call it. I wanted to have a song that mimicked the Ray Charles, that also mimics the likes of B.B. King. So I wanted to put it together and put a new age, new sound with it. And so Come On By is what we came up with. I have some incredible players on that record in particular. It was so amazing because, again, I wanted to make something from the 50s, 60s, but make it so that it was something that reached 2016 at the time. 2017 is when we were, doing the final edits and recordings of it. And I wanted to have, like, the gospel caravan sound. And so Come On By is what we came up with. That's exactly it. Come On By.
I think you definitely did it. I love the fact that you kind of tap into, obviously the blues and whatnot. And it's funny because I grew up listening to a lot of that as well. I mean, obviously not by choice, but it's the thing that my parents and my grandparents were playing all the time. And it's funny because, even today, I still get into a little bit of it. And I know Denise LaSalle, like I used to listen to a lot of her stuff, and I know she passed recently.
I love her, yes. So,
yeah.
So blues is like, for real, that's my thing. That is my total thing. And
but I think it's amazing that you tapped into that, though.
Thank you. So, it's just, at the end of the day, I love blues, and I love all kinds of music. So this album obviously has it all.
Well, we're going to go ahead and play that right now. So this is Come On By, right here on Indie Soul Saturdays with Kim Tibbs.
When I am lonely, call me, baby. Get in a hurry and come and see me. I need a moment of you. Please come on by. When I am standing, watching cars go by, I'm thinking of you and all the things that you do. Please hear me when I say, please come on by. Special kiss, baby, 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 I begin to miss all of the sweetness, all of your smiles. I got your message that said bye-bye. It was so long ago when we parted our ways, but I'm thinking about you every day. Please hear me when I say, please come on by. Oh yeah, come on, Nora. With every moment, every special kiss. Oh, baby, 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 I begin to miss all of your sweetness and all of your smiles. I got your message that said bye-bye. Oh, when I am lonely, call me, baby. Get in a hurry and come and see me. I need a moment of you. Please come on by. Come on. Please come on by. Oh yeah, yeah. Please come on by. Please, please come on by. Please come on by.
I absolutely love that song, Like one of the biggest things that I really like is just the harmonies, like kind of, you know, like, well, basically throughout the song. I love it. I absolutely love it. And so many people, as I said, are really loving it here on the station as well.
I so appreciate the love. That song is one of my favorites, you know, because it's simple melody, simple lyrics, but just really Wurlitzer, guitar, bass, drums, and lead vocal background. I mean, that's really the elements of what we know as soul music. So I'm appreciative for all of the support and the love of it.
And then the thing too is that you're still introducing people to something that they really don't hear a lot of, because I mean, like you and I both know, a lot of the younger generation don't really know about the blues, and I love when artists are able to really tap into kind of the past and kind of bring it current. Like I even think too, and I listen to so many different types of music, so I'm actually into ragtime, and I know that with Jill Scott's last album, she actually did one of her songs. She kind of did it in ragtime, and like I wish that either she would do more of that, or that other artists would kind of tap into that, because for whatever reason, I love ragtime.
You know, the thing is, it's a market for real soul music. It's just people who are real, you know, artists that portray the soul. We just have to kind of keep doing it, because again, the more and the more that you do whatever it is that you're doing, the better you get at it. It's going to catch ears. It's going to catch the right person looking, you know, obviously.
I think that artist just has to be willing to kind of do the work behind it too, because the reality is whether you have a label backing you or not, the label is not going to put as much into something like that they put into hip hop and what they feel like everybody is really gravitating to. So that artist kind of, to me, has to be willing to kind of put in the work. And I think that most artists out there that are releasing soul music, I don't think that they really get into it with the intentions of having to really do all of that, or maybe they don't really know a lot of the things that need to be done because they've had somebody doing it for them. So I don't know.
I mean, you know, you make some great points. Again, what helps me when I'm a songwriter is the fact that I actually know how to play. I mean, there's very few girls that I know of that play him and B3 organ, you know, full pedals. And I play with stilettos on, so that's a big thing, you know. But I do.
So you showing out on them, okay?
Well, I try. I'm humbled, you know. But again, I know I have the confidence that says, hey, I'm gonna sit down in a pair of 7-inch heels, and I'm gonna show you can play with shoes on. They might not have made the instrument for us girls, but we can do it, you know. And but that helps me when I'm writing. It also helps me when I'm in production, because I know what things need to be placed in at what points and at what part of the songs and that sort. And as soul artists, you know, if you're really in it for the money, then you're in the wrong genre. You've got to really have a passion for just, you know, the art of music.
I love that you say that.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's not a wealthy moment. You know, you'll get your ability to be able to make a good living at it, but it's not going to be early on. So you really have to have a real love for the music.
Definitely. So talk about a building that'll last.
I wanted to have a song to thank everybody that shut their door in my face. A building that'll last is a person that's, it is. I'm serious. Listen, there are people that will come and go in your life. But for those that have said yes to me, yes to my sound, yes to my work, yes to whatever I'm trying to do in life, I appreciate them. And so this song is a simple thank you to those that said no. So that way, as I make it, thank you. You're the reason why, because you motivated me to persevere past all of the hard moments, past, you know, everything you can think of, from divorce to, you know, doors closing that you thought were just automatic because, this label this label didn't want your sound. They wanted you to do something you did not want to do morally. You know, there's a lot of things that go into music and music careers today.
Right.
And so that song, A Building That'll Last, is just me telling those that said no, thank you. Thank you. Even if it takes me a little bit longer on the road, I'm going to still do it.
It's a favorite of mine already, just for that very reason that you just explained. So we're going to go ahead and play that right here on the show. This is A Building That'll Last, and we are live with Kim Tibbs right here on Indie Soul Saturday.
Been a long road. Been told no after no. Your music's not good enough. Oh, we don't do that kind. Been to a million places. Seen a whole lot of faces, but I'll never forget the ones who helped me shine. Travel down the road to a place we all know, never looking back to the place we left last. Bring along who helped us to stand. That's a building, that's a building that'll last. A building that'll last. I changed my way of thinking. You know I put me first. I started thinking about everything that I wanted to oh, from my life, my son, and my family. I set out to make them go. Never looking back.
I think that is the perfect song, definitely for the doubters.
Thank you.
Yeah, it definitely
it's one of those.
sounds.
It's that song that, at the end of the day, I might not have made it the way I thought I was going to make it, but I still did it. And I appreciate all those that did not want to help me along the journey.
Right, but the reality is, I mean, you've done tremendously amazing things, throughout your life and within your career. So I don't think there's anybody that can look at your career and say, well, she didn't quite do, what I thought she was going to do. Like to me, you've surpassed everything. You've surpassed what anybody could, what people predict and that type of stuff. And you always have those type of people who are going to kind of, I guess, be haters, just for a simpler term, or people that just, they don't want to believe in somebody else's success. So I think it's amazing that, obviously you triumphed and you're able to present that song to those people.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where during the recording you think back of all the things you've been through, and just getting the album out itself, getting Kim done, that album really has picked me up mentally and motivated me to look beyond and look further and look forward to the future. So I'm appreciative of all of the support of it,
Now, I feel like I saved one of the best for last in I Need You for Your Love. So talk about that song, which, again, has done so many amazing things in so many different places and, obviously radio venues and whatnot. But go ahead and talk about that song.
Well, I Need You for Your Love is one of those moments where I just wanted to send out a happy vibe. I wanted to spotlight just love in itself. Love from either the mom to the husband to the child to the partner to the girlfriend to the boyfriend. I just wanted to showcase love and give a very vinyl vintage approach to it. This song, again, this was one of the ones I recorded at Fame. It had some of the most incredible players on it. But I just wanted to do something that would give if I wanted to compare it to what artist I felt would record something like that, I always thought Stevie Wonder for this song. And so it's one of my happy moments, and it's one of those moments when you feel like you're having a bad day, just pop it on and you just start two-stepping and dancing in the next 30 seconds.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play it. This is Kim Tibbs. We are live right here on Indie Soul Saturdays, and you are now listening to I Need You for Your Love.
Closely as the stars fall
again, that song has done so amazing. Like, what do you remember about the time of putting these songs together? Like, what are your best memories?
Well, the best memory, obviously, was being able to sit down with friends and just say, hey, guys, let's play. And for every song that we've recorded, especially for, like, you know, the dry demo run sessions of everything, when it feels good recording it and it hasn't gone to a pre-mix, to a mix, to a master, you know you're sitting on something. And so that was one of the very first songs that I recorded with the group of guys that really just came in and just killed my project. And a good note, killed it, meaning, oh, my gosh. I mean, literally, we did that song one time, you know, and then the second time we just did it as let's just do it in case we need to do it again.
Right.
So it was
and that's
really
amazing.
good.
That's when you know you got something.
Right, and every, you know, for the players that played on it, you know, for those that were my students, they were really good players. But for the professionals, I mean, you're talking about everybody that's who's who of music clearly in the building, from blues, gospel, rock, country, soul, all the way down, and, you know, Grammy Award winners. I mean, it was all kinds of stuff that went out from the musician side of it. And at the end of the day, I'm proud of what happened because, you know, again, that was the first song released. Guess what? It went number one in a short period of time. And where people knew me as a musician because of my professional background, they didn't really know me as an artist. So it's kind of like I kind of got a chance to use the platform to kind of build onto now I'm an artist. So I'm really excited about what all happened. I Need You for Your Love is going to always remain one of my favorite songs.
Well, they certainly know you now for as well as that first album did and all the singles that you released, you know, for as well as they've done. Everybody definitely knows you now. So I think it's amazing. You spoke about your next album, which is going to be called Collection. So talk a little bit more about that album. And I think the biggest thing people want to know is, when are we getting it?
Okay. So Collection, again, is me just going through, now that I've arrived in my moment as an artist, and I gave you an introduction of what I'm going to sound like, because my first album, if you noticed, it's a blend of all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things on the album. This next project is going to be Collection because now it's a collection of just soul. I want to focus on it from a contemporary vinyl vintage to a you know, just I kind of want to call it Kogo soul, because it tells a story like country music, but it has the sound of gospel, but it's not, it's soul. And it's positive, uplifting music. It's music that helps people to bring a smile to their face. It's songs that help people to remember to always gravitate to their dreams. And so this album, again, is going to be a completely big one, just because I'm using high schoolers to record this one and showcasing what can happen if you really focus on music education from an educational standpoint. What
and it's
you
going
can
to take
do
them
and what
so
can
far.
happen. Oh, yes. Believe it or not, we've already cut, I think, maybe, 20? Today, I'm in the studio again today. We've already cut like 22 songs. And
that's amazing.
I'm sitting here with my engineer, and I know I flood his mind with just stuff, but, you know, it's just been a really, really rewarding day every day when we get into the studio. So Collection is going to be huge, because now I get to let my hair down and really show you who I am as an artist.
Right. I think that's so cool. I really would like for you to leave basically your social media, website, all of that kind of stuff, where people can keep up with you online.
Okay. So first off, my home is KimTibbsMusic.com. KimTibbsMusic.com. That's just my name, Kim Tibbs, with music.com. You can go there to view my bio, view my affiliations, my discography. You can buy music there. You're going to see my tour schedule. I haven't updated everything, but I already have dates in Croatia. I'm headlining a couple of festivals over in Europe this year, so tour is coming as well. The next is my Facebook page. It's going to be www.facebook.com/Kim Tibbs Music again. Instagram, I'm always on Instagram posting positive stuff as well. So, again, it's Kim Tibbs Music on Instagram. Twitter, for those that like to tweet out things, it's just simply Kim Tibbs at Tibbs Kim. And lastly, for those that just, want to have an uplifting moment, I'm going to be tapping into my creative side and starting back to my blog. So I will be updating my blog as well on my website for people to kind of follow the journey. I write about everything from fashion to food, because I'm deep down I'm a chef and wanted to be a culinary chef, also. So there's so many different aspects. Yeah, there's so many different things that I wanted to do. I'm focusing on the music right now, but there's so many things again that I do in my world, and so I'll be, updating with my blog shortly to give my memoirs, I call it. But all things, if nothing else, KimTibbsMusic.com will steer you in the direction, and all of my others, social media and platform and that sort is under my website. And I'm just humbled and thankful for you all at Source Radio, and for all of you listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today, and I cannot wait to get this next album out to you, literally.
Look, I can't wait to hear it, and we are grateful. We are humbled by the opportunity to have you here on the show. You have such amazing music, and obviously Source Nation is loving your music, by the bit, but we definitely enjoyed having you here on the show, and we definitely want to extend that opportunity for you to come back anytime that you like.
Oh, thank you so very much. I appreciate you guys having me, and I will be back, because I want to keep giving out those good vibes, that good positive moment, and just good soul music.
And that's what we want. That is exactly what we want. So thank you again so much for today. I definitely had a great time. I could talk all day long, so it was hard.
Yes, I love your personality. We got to gel it up again together again.
Most definitely. But thank you so much, and we definitely will do this again, and we'll be getting this up on iTunes as well.
Okay, great. Well, just when it's there, you let me know, because I want to bring my following fan base in touch with you all as well.
We definitely will. But thank you again so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You have a great rest of your weekend.
You do the same.
Okay, now. And there you have it, Source Nation. We have wrapped up our second hour here. Amazing hour with Miss Kim Tibbs. I think it was a great conversation. We will be getting that up on iTunes and our podcast. Until next time, we're going to say bye-bye. But thank you all so much for tuning in here. And everyone, please enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yours.